Hello everybody, I got some new gifts for myself here. So a bunch of Asics stuff. I have some Asics Apparel right here and also some Asics shoes. These actually aren't gifts. I actually won these in a contest that Asics had that we participated in at the Roost. So I got a pair of shoes. I won the whole outfit. So I got a pair of shoes. Luckily I won the whole outfit because now I can review it and give you guys all the information on the shoes and the apparel. Just saying. So yeah, I've got shoes right here, and then I've got two pieces of apparel. I've got tights and a jacket. I did get a couple more things like a hoodie and then like another long sleeve, I think, as well. But those aren't really something that you'd necessarily purchase as much. I mean, they are for sale on Asics website, but I don't think you'd purchase them. So essentially, yeah, I've got these two right here. These are a little bit nicer pieces I wanted to review, and then those shoes. So this is actually this is more of a preview. Because I haven't run the shoes yet, I haven't used the apparel yet. So I'm gonna go over all the specs on the shoes, unbox the shoes and everything like that in this video. And then the apparel, I'm just gonna kind of unbox or unwrap the apparel from this packaging. I won't go into the specs on the apparel. That's more something I'll probably do when I'm actually like making review videos for the apparel. And then the shoes, I haven't run in them, but I'm gonna give you all those good specs before the review, and then we're gonna give them to you really quickly in the review. So this is gonna be more in depth, the kind of the shoe technology video, kind of what I had in mind for this video. If you guys want to catch that review after I try on the shoes, make sure you guys hit the subscribe button below and the bell notification right next to it. That will allow you to be notified when I do post that video. So that'll probably be after about 50 miles, 50 to 100 miles, kind of when you kind of break in the shoe and stuff like that. So. Stay tuned for that. Let's jump right in and start unboxing this guy right here. So this is the Asics Kayano Lite 2. I wanted something that was a little bit newer from Asics, but it's been really hard with the production issues that the brand's been having to get shoes in. Like, it's been ridiculous. Like, new shoes, you don't get them for like months later. So this is a couple months old, or pretty old now. But yeah, we're gonna do a little review on it, see what we think about it. Yeah, all the brands have been kind of having these production issues, so it's not just Asics, but Asics is definitely pretty bad right now. All right, so this is I'm gonna hold it up. Hopefully my camera will focus on it if I cover my face and hide behind the shoe here. So the Asics Kayano Lite right here. Stability shoe. So if you guys know anything about the Kayano, there's the Kayano 28, which has been around forever, like 28 years. I think it's 28 years. They normally update shoes yearly, so it's probably been about 28 years. I gotta turn my laptop back on. All right, so before I get into the actual preview, I'm going to unwrap the Asics Apparel just really quickly here. Just kind of take a look at what I got. These are tights, men's size medium. They have this green color. I don't know about this green color, how I feel about it, but it's not bad. It actually look pretty good. It's got nice reflective strips on it and everything too. Yeah, hopefully it's long enough for me. That's going to be the real test. Problem with tights is they never seem to run long enough for me. That's like the biggest issue for me. Dry. Quick drying, moisture wicking, fabrics, seems pretty standard to me. We'll test it out and really put it through its paces. It's actually pretty cold, it's actually snowing right now here in Colorado, so probably try these guys out tomorrow. Actually, I have a workout tomorrow. Probably, maybe for the double? I don't know, we'll see. Next week or so, I'll be trying these guys out, so I'll keep these guys up here. All right, we got a jacket too. Let's open this guy up so we can get into that shoe preview. And if you guys want to catch the shoe preview, just jump ahead. I'll have the time codes in the description below. That, here are the crinkly stuff so the mic doesn't pick it up. More crinkly stuff. So this is these are a $70 pair of tights, so they might actually be pretty good. And this is a $100 jacket. So kind of what it looks like right here. Nice blue. I almost kind of wish they matched. They don't quite match. The blue and the turquoise green. Yeah, not the best. Let's see. Warmth. Heat retaining fabrics. Help keep you warm. Not many details on their apparel stuff, honestly. Yeah. It's got a nice little like fleece inside right here. Not bad, Asics. Not bad. I like this fleece stuff here. And I like how it's almost like a slight weather sealing on the outside. I love these types of jackets where you get a little bit of wind protection, maybe a little bit of moisture protection when it's snowing and stuff like that. All right, we'll try this guy. I'm definitely gonna try this guy out tomorrow. If I have to wear a base layer, I have to wear a base layer, but we'll try it out, see how it performs. It's a size medium as well. Medium seems to fit me all around. I can fit larges in some things and smalls and some like lower body things that have such skinny legs, but let's set these guys off to the side here. Let's dive into what you guys are probably tuning in for, and that's this shoe right here. The Gel Kayano Lite 2. So very similar, as I was saying, to the Kayano, which is the Kayano 28 is what they're on now. So very similar to that. It's supposed to be a lighter version of that. It's still a stability shoe. They offer stability in a little bit different way. There's a lot of different. There's not a lot of differences. Actually there is. It's almost not even the same shoe, honestly. Like I'm not. I don't know why they just called it the Kayano Lite. I guess I could kind of see it. I don't know. I just don't feel like it's a Kayano anymore. They just wanted to basically make another shoe, and they just wanted to use the same name. That's what I think happened. Honestly, we'll dive into it, and we'll get to my reasoning why that is in a sec here. All right, so they call this the Gel Kayano Lite. It's not very light. It weighs 10.1 ounces, which is actually pretty heavy in a men's size 9. The Gel Kayano 28, just for a frame of reference, runs the normal stability shoe. It's like a high cushion stability shoe. So that's what the Kayano is. This guy is supposed to be a lighter version, still pretty high cushion. It runs 10.1, where the regular runs 10.8 in a men's size 9. So not much of a weight difference compared to the like heavier version of the Kayano. So not really convinced that this is the light version, but that again, as I was just saying, I think they're just trying to make another shoe, and they just wanted to basically throw on the Kayano's name on it because it's been around for 28 years. So yeah, but if we're looking at drop in the shoe, it changes from men to women too. So we have a 10 millimeter drop in men, so and then a 13 millimeter drop in women. That's a stack height of 36 down to 26 for men in the Gel Kayano Lite. And then it's a stack height of, they just raised it up, I think, a little bit. So it's like 38 down to 25 for women is what my notes say. I can never remember the numbers. There's so many numbers. All right, so the Kayano's stack height, the Kayano 28, not the Lite, runs 33 down to 23. So actually, this has a higher stack height than the Kayano 28. Kind of weird. I'll get into that in just a sec here of why I think that is and the reasoning why. So you think more foam underneath your feet, so like stack height being the amount of foam underneath your foot, that the shoe would weigh more. But there is another technology that Asics uses. Asics typically uses a ton of technologies, and wow, that came out. That was really hard. I'm not even gonna redo that. All right, so Asics typically uses a ton of different technologies in their shoes, so they have to probably take out some of those technologies to make a light version, and then I'll get into that in just a second. When I talk about the midsole, we'll talk all about that. All right, so going into why the stack height difference and why the Lite has a larger stack height, so more foam underneath the foot, so more material underneath the foot. The reason why is because the Kayano actually has a gel, you'll see it. I'll probably just put up a picture, like a little overlay onto this video. But you'll see a lot of gel in the back end of the Kayano right here. So essentially that gel is actually a pretty, I think it's relatively, compared to the foam, it's a little bit heavier than the foam. So they take that out for the most part. It still has gel in the shoe. I'm not positive on the exact locations of the gel, but I believe in the forefoot typically is where I'm gonna put it. And then they might even have some in the heel back here. Typically they'll still put some in the heel. They don't display it like they do in the Gel Kayano. It's not, I guess, their priority where the Gel Kayano, they have to really load that thing up, and then you can just, like, they'll show you on the side of the shoe there. You'll see it with almost any Asics shoe besides this one, of course, and like the Nova Blast and all that. I don't think the Nova Blast has gel though, so something to keep in mind. I actually haven't done a review on that. I probably should. Don't sell many of them. They're not the best shoe in my opinion, based on what I've seen with people walking in them or running in them as well. All right, so besides gel, what they use is basically their flight foam material. So the flight foam that is in these shoes, and most Asics shoes now, is actually a kind of like fibrous material or cellulose material. So they actually take sugarcane, so like the sugarcane plant, and it's kind of like a wood pulp they pull from the sugarcane that is actually like their cellulose material that they actually kind of blend into the shoe, into the foam a little bit. It's supposed to increase durability. I don't know if it really increases the amount of cushion you feel, but it does definitely increase durability. I know the new Kayano, I'm pretty sure, is actually using their Flight Foam Blast, which is like the really soft, supposed to be really bouncy, responsive foam that you find in the Nova Blast. And they're blending it into the shoe a little bit with the new Kayano. I don't think they do that with this one. So this one's all going to be that Flight Foam with the mix of the cellulose, like that mixture of sugarcane plant within the foam. So increases durability of the foam a little bit. I don't know if it really does much for the softness of the foam. I don't feel like that would do much for the softness, but it does increase the durability, which is like a huge thing right now because they're trying to make shoes more durable, trying to make this EVA foam, so this ethyl vinyl acetate, I believe is what it actually stands for. They're trying to make this EVA foam a little bit more durable. That's been that, and then also adding more cushion to the midsoles and then more responsiveness. So midsoles have definitely, or the foam pieces of the shoes have definitely been a huge concern and a huge focus for a lot of brands moving forward. And actually, I think it's the next thing they really do need to update. It's actually what they've been updating in all the newer like marathon shoes, like the 4% and all that. It's not just the carbon plates, it's also the foam as well. All right, so another quick thing about the foam while we're just talking about that, and as we're moving into the upper, they're trying to do more sustainable kind of materials, and also how they produce the shoes is trying to be more sustainable as well. So actually the foam's more sustainable, so they actually use materials in here that are probably like recycled and stuff like that. And same with the upper, actually, they started using some recycled materials. It's obviously not all recycled, but parts of the foam and parts of the upper are recycled. So it's good to see that, and also just how they're producing the shoes, they're trying to make it more sustainable as well. They're probably just how like machinery they're using, stuff like that, the amount of waste they're producing, it's all more sustainable. So yeah, overall more sustainable. That's kind of the goal. And if you guys wanted to actually check out my Saucony video, Saucony is doing a very similar thing with their materials and also with how they produce their shoes. So you guys can check that out. There's an interview with Joshua. He was actually a Saucony. He is a Saucony rep as of recording this video. So he's like a little tech rep, I believe. But yeah, he kind of went over the new shoes that are coming out in the spring, which even have not been released yet. So definitely check that video out. Linked it up above. So, and I'll also link it down in the description below. All right, and then one last thing about the kind of like upper designs and everything too. We do have some slight differences from the Lite, the first edition. We have this piece in the tongue where your laces kind of go through. No gusseted tongue, so it's not going to hold in there like Saucony shoes typically have been using a lot of, and even like Hoka's and stuff like that. You've got this band of material on the top here. That's going to kind of where the laces kind of go through. I forget what those are called. And then we've got I've seen a lot of reviews, and they mention how sturdy the heel counter is. I would definitely agree. It's not the most sturdy heel counter, but it is very sturdy. It is like killer heel counter, honestly. It seems very plush as well, very sturdy, very hard to bend in the back here. So yeah, good to see that. I love a sturdy heel counter. I think it's always a good thing to have in a shoe. All right, so kind of moving on. Let's kind of talk about how they actually offer stability in the shoe, and actually kind of compare it to the Kayano, which actually uses more of a traditional posting. So traditional posting, you've got your medial side of the shoe right here. You typically put a denser piece of foam right here, and it's like a little wedge, and it goes into the shoe just a little bit. And then on this other side, they actually keep this density of the foam like the more standard density. So this side's more dense, this medial side, and the lateral side, they don't have that extra denser foam. So essentially. So it's essentially what happens is this side of the shoe doesn't collapse as much, and this side of the shoe will collapse more, which will tilt the foot out. If you don't need the correction, you'll be overcorrected. If you need the correction, hopefully we'll get you back to neutral. That's kind of the basics of the fitting process. So the regular Kayano has the gel, which is like their softer material, more squishy material on the outside here, more on the heel, and then they also have a denser piece underneath right about here in that gel Kayano 28. Now let's look at this shoe. They actually use a little bit different. They don't use that traditional posting. They actually use a little bit different. They use some decoupling, and they also use the geometry of the shoe and the outsole of the rubber of the shoe to offer stability. So they use kind of like 3 little things to kind of do that. It's very similar to the Wave Horizon, which I don't think I've done a review on yet, which I probably will. So let me know in the comments below if you guys think I should do a review on the Wave Horizon. So Wave Horizon is a very fascinating shoe. I think it's very corrective. It's awesome. I love that shoe. It is a stellar option if you need a stability shoe, honestly. If you want a stability shoe and a high cushion shoe, that foam they use in there too, it's glorious. I'll have to do a whole review on it probably. Again, if you want to see that, comments below. So yeah, let's dive back into this guy though. So let's talk about the geometry first. So the Wave Horizon uses like 2 different pieces of foam. They use like different shapes that kind of connect with those 2 pieces of foam. So there's one side, the medial side's more square, and then the other side's more rounded. This shoe does a little bit different. So it looks like it's more of like a solid piece, not as much geometry on this side of the shoe. And then it kind of comes out on this side of the shoe. So if we look at it right there on the lateral side, so that's the outside, that's the part that we want to be pushing out that way more, if anything. Because we're over pernating, we're rolling in like this. So this shoe, I'm not the scientist on this, so don't quote me on this, but I think what happens is this is more like solid. They kind of flange this side out a little bit in the front, and then we see it kind of coming out this way, and I think they do something inside the foam as well to kind of give that more stability or aspect to it, so we're not collapsing and over pernating. But then they also use decoupling. So if we look down here, we have these ridges on the bottom of the shoe here. See these ridges here? And then we also have this line. This is a decoupling line is what we call that. So it's basically something that kind of divides the shoe right here. Am I pointing the right thing? This is the decoupling line. So yeah, the decoupling line here will also kind of slow the rate of overpronation is the idea behind that. Salomon went way into that with some of their stability shoes when they first started making road shoes. They really wanted to slow that rate of overpronation down. So they kind of took that method. The Salomon shoes weren't super corrective though. They didn't slow it enough, and some people just like snapped in too quick. So I think combining it is a great idea. And then we also have their rubber compound. So Asics Ahar rubber compound. I always have to like Ahar Plus, sorry, which actually stands for Asics High Abrasion Rubber Plus, which is like essentially more advanced than the regular, obviously. So we look at the rubber pattern here. Saucony does this in kind of their endorphin shift, where they build up more rubber on the inside medial side of the shoe. So hopefully that also gives some almost like a dual density kind of deal with it, with that denser piece of posting that we typically have, but it's going to kind of stop that motion inward like that. So if you kind of see, we're also missing foam right here, and that's like a key. The arch is like key for overpronation. That and back here typically in the heel if you're a heel striker. But the arch for almost everybody is a huge portion of the overpronation. That's what almost decides if you overpronate or not for a lot of people. Not everybody. A lot of people, that arch is going to be huge. So the fact that they left that rubber out there, they have more flex grooves on this side of more open flex grooves on this side, the lateral side of the shoe, will allow it to hopefully be a little more flexible on the lateral side. And then the medial side will be a little bit less flexible because it has less flex grooves, more rubber involved. So that will hopefully prevent us from overpronating it. We're going to see though, when I try the shoe on, because I do overpronate a little bit. I'm also a very forefoot runner / midfoot. So I'm curious to see how this shoe is going to react. I feel like a lot of people who test this shoe out are probably more of a heel striker. They do have a really good heel counter, a really good heel cushioning, so it's great for heel striking, and based on what I've seen so far. So I'm curious. We'll see how it goes. Definitely going to try it out quite a bit. I'm super excited for it because I do like lighter stability shoes, even though this isn't super light. I've never bought a pair of Kayanos, never worn a pair of Kayanos, so I couldn't tell you guys the differences and how they feel compared to a Kayano. I have worn the step down from the Kayano though quite a bit. So I've worn the GT2000, which is basically a less cushiony version of the Kayano. Same kind of structure. I've worn a couple pairs of those. So I'll give you guys a rundown of how these feel. I'm hoping these feel very similar to that, honestly. Maybe a little bit more cushiony, but very similar in terms of the snappiness of the 2000 compared to the Kayano. The 2000 is not a snappy shoe by any means, but it's probably a lot more snappier than like a Kayano where you have a little more cushion in the shoe. So very curious to see how that goes. And one thing I forgot to mention, the name of what they call their stability method, which is the 3D space construct, I think is what it's called or something like that. I don't know. That's what they named it. I think it's 3D space construct or something like that. I actually totally forgot the name, totally blank on the name. But yeah, that's the shoe. That's the Asics Kayano Lite. They have two. They also make a Nimbus Lite. So Nimbus is basically the neutral version of the Kayano. If you guys want to see a review on that, description below. But yeah, basically the stability version of that as well, because the Nimbus Lite had so much success. Actually, they might have released them at the same time. I don't quite remember. I think the Nimbus came out first though, if I remember right. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments below. Alright, hope you guys enjoyed the Kayano Lite shoe review. And if you guys did, just give it a thumbs up. It really helps out the channel, and subscribe and hit that bell notification to get notified when I post the actual review for this shoe and that apparel I got. I'll go a little more in depth in the apparel as well. And if you guys want to see me kind of review some other shoes a little bit more, then comment below. Let me know. Like, I am open to, I will go buy the shoes. I don't get shoes for free yet. I do get a discount. I will go buy the shoes you guys want reviewed. So just let me know in the comments below if you have a pair of shoes, or you're thinking about getting a pair of shoes, or maybe you're thinking about your next pair of shoes and you're like, what shoe am I going to get? Well, just let me know in the comments below. I'll help you guys out. I'll go get those. I wear stability and I wear neutral shoes. Depends on the day. I overpronate in a little bit, but I am pretty like light on my feet. So typically I can wear some neutral shoes as well. I don't only wear stability shoes. So yeah, just comment below. I'll make sure I make a video about it, do a little review, run some miles in it for you guys. So yeah, well, I'll catch you guys later. I gotta get ready for my marathon coming up pretty soon here. I'll probably make some more videos before that. I think I'm gonna do an overtraining video. That's coming soon, so stay tuned. All right, I'll catch you guys later. Thanks for bearing with me here.